Welcome to New England Soccer Journal's The Goal Podcast, the podcast for serious soccer players and their supporters to help further their development and navigate their way throughout their soccer careers.
Welcome in to another episode of New England Soccer Journal's The Goal Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Langone, joined as always in studio by NESJ writer Matt Doherty. Matt, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Just the two of us today. We're going to talk some high school soccer, some Massachusetts high school soccer. We're at that time of year where preseason training is starting and teams are starting to figure out what they have and get ready for those season openers in early September. So what better person to talk about this stuff than Matty Doherty, who covers this stuff for us at New England Soccer Journal, amongst many other things. And Matt, you've had some great coverage already on our website leading into the high school season. How excited are you to get things going for this high school season?
Yeah, very excited. I feel like, when I started last year, it was kind of in the middle of the season, so it's cool to, go through the whole year of the club season and now start high school fresh from day one. It's kind of crazy that it's here, the high school season. Like, it feels like the summer flew by, and but the fall's the best time of the year for us, so I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah, it did fly by. This summer, it's weird. My kids usually go back to school after Labor Day. This year, they're going back to school before Labor Day. So it feels
That's
like this
worst.
summer, yeah. I mean, they're going to go to school on like August 26th. It's probably going to be like 93 degrees sitting in the classroom, so it's going to be brutal. But it did make this summer go by extremely fast, so you're right about that. But let's start off with little boys, MIAA boys high school talk.
Let's do it.
You've been taking a look at this, getting ready for the coverage, kind of seeing what teams have coming back, who's going to be the powers this season. Give us kind of the temperature of the room right now with MIAA boys soccer.
Yeah, I think you have the big dogs. I think, boys soccer, I think this is my 8th year covering it in the fall for MIAA, and you have the programs that have just their year in and year out. I mean, Division I, you have St. John's Prep, Newton North, Needham, Weymouth, Concord Carlisle, like those type of programs. Like, it doesn't matter who leaves or who goes to MLS Next or who goes to private schools. Like, those are some of the best coaches in the state, and I feel like they're just consistently good year in and year out, and you can kind of rely on those teams as to sort of set the pace in their respective divisions. And obviously in D2, we'll get to Oliver Ames, who's become the class of division. Honestly, maybe the best public program in the state at this point. They've won 3 straight state titles, and so I think you have the teams that are just annually good, and I think in MIAA more than ever we're seeing that roster turnover with kids going to MLS Next, with new clubs popping up or kids transferring to prep schools. But despite all that, like, you have those town schools, those really soccer towns in our state that I think sort of set the pace, and we expect those teams. Needham's another one. I forgot to mention Needham, but they're they'll be in the mix this year. So those schools I think are where we jump off for the 2025 season.
Yeah, you've been a side note there that you kind of mentioned. You've kind of been digging into this with reporting, but just how prevalent it's become for high school programs to lose top-notch players to prep schools or private schools or whatnot. How much do you feel like that's hurting the MIAA boys soccer, maybe just high school soccer in general in New England? Do you feel like it's you and I have talked about this, like, not on the podcast before, but I think it seems to be more prevalent in the boys' side than the girls' side. But how much in your conversations are you finding that it's, I don't know if we want to say hurting the product, because high school soccer is still great and there's still a lot of great players playing it, but how much is it impacting the product?
I think coaches would say it's just watered down a little bit. I think where it was 10, 15 years ago to where it is now, I think MLS Next is the big driving force, because you lost about 600 kids. Wow. I think is the number that is honestly only going to increase as time goes on. So I think MLS Next is the big one on the boys' side, because every year you lose a few kids, underclassmen, freshmen, sophomore, who would be on a high school team, and they choose to play MLS Next. They still go to that high school, but they're not playing soccer. So that's been the biggest thing on the boys' side. The girls obviously doesn't offer that. You can do both. You can do club and you can do high school in the fall. So because of what MLS Next say you can't play for your high school team, that has certainly watered down the product. And I did a big story on that a few years ago and touched on it again this year here. And so that's the big thing. I mean, that, and of course, like if you're going to lose the Division I commits, like you look at a team like Dover Sherborne last year won this Division III state title. They had like three players from that town played MLS Next who are going Division I. Like you add those kids in and it's like, okay, that's the best team in the state.
Right.
So like those type of things pop up year in and year out. Like the Concords have a lot of kids who play MLS Next and Newton Needham. And even despite that, like that shows the quality of coaching that those schools can withstand those losses and still produce and win games.
You know, even in spite of all that, there's still the beauty of what high school sports are and wearing your hometown on your jersey and playing for your hometown. And I still think I'm a big, admirer of anybody who does that and wants to do that, because that's like those kind of the best times of your athletic life is playing for your high school, playing for your community, and that's still a thing that resonates with a lot of players right now. So it's one of the things that makes high school soccer and all high school sports great. The atmospheres at these state championship games and these state playoff games are still awesome. You know, you play a state championship game at night. I mean, you've been to these games. I mean, those atmospheres are awesome still.
Yeah, I mean, Newton North's run last year was maybe one of the best stories I've seen covering high school sports and amateur sports for 10 years.
Yeah, give us a little what their run was. I mean, they came in as like a
31st seed. So like they went 4-5-9 or 4-9-5 in the regular season. So 5 games under 500, and the top 32 teams automatically qualify regardless of record. So they barely made it based on percentage points. Like if they were seeded 33rd, they wouldn't have gotten in because they were under 500. And then they won 6 straight games and won the state title. Lowest seed ever to win an MIAA state tournament in any sport. And even I was at the semifinal and the final game. And it was just, I mean, the whole school was there. You had hundreds of kids. You had just an amazing atmosphere. And for that team, like they won in penalty kicks. Right. They had comeback wins. They knocked off top seeds. Like it was just an incredible run. And I think a reminder of why we love high school sports and why, like you can't replicate that in any other league. So it was awesome. And I know, for those kids, like that's something they'll never forget.
Yeah, and I think it speaks to the parity now that's kind of been a trickle down from what you were talking about kind of some of these elite players kind of leaving high school soccer for MLS Next. I mean, because you're taking out some of these elite talents, like you had mentioned, like if those kids are playing for Dover Sherborne, like that's just added elite talent to a roster. So now because of some of these kids leaving, I think the playing field maybe gets a little more even, and that allows for, Cinderella runs like that where you can be seeded 31st or 28th or 25th and make that kind of run in November, which is cool. I mean, that's the other thing you love about postseason sports is the especially in a one and done situation, like anything can happen. And that was proof of it last year. But even with that said, though, you mentioned Oliver Ames. That's a program that's on quite a run right now. You still have, teams like St. John's Prep who are in the mix every single year in MIAA. So you still have those traditional powers that, I mean, you got to be impressed with what these programs are doing every single year.
Yeah. I think the coaching is really strong in MIAA, and I think that even talking to, I know a lot of these coaches, so I don't want to gas you all up too much, but
humble brag.
But there's a lot of strong coaches in the state, and I think that
I'm a big deal. I know a lot of these.
That has allowed them to sort of withstand those roster turnovers, and a lot of these guys, like they're in the club world too. They've been here for a while. Like Ray Pavlik at Concord Carlisle has won 6 state titles.
Oh, he's been there for a long time. Yeah.
Jimmy O'Dearna at Needham is a proven coach. John Barada at OA, like those guys, they just know how to coach. Like they've been around it for a long time, and I think because we have so many good coaches in the state, I think that really helps. Even if the talent isn't as high as it was because of all the competing leagues, like the coaches make up for that, and I think the quality of play is still there. It's not like it's bad soccer. It's still good soccer. Like even though that Newton North games, I saw them play Zavarian in the semis, and that was like a 16 seed against a 31 seed, and it was really good soccer. Like it was competitive and back and forth and high skill. It wasn't like, oh my God, this isn't even like, it's still really good level of soccer. It's just the talented players that are going Division I aren't necessarily playing MIAA anymore. Right.
Give us a couple teams, 2-3 teams here that you're really looking forward to watching on the boys' side this year. Really looking forward to following. I think we'll leave Oliver Ames out of it because we know we're going to be following. Oh, maybe you wanted to talk more about Oliver Ames,
No.
but we know. I mean, we know they're going to be good. But is there a couple other ones? I know you had a story on soccerjournal.com of some teams to have on your radar that's out there right now, where you kind of laid it out there. But who are a couple that you're really paying attention to?
I think first one that comes to mind is Newton South. They were the 1 seed last year in Division 1 and went 13-1-4, won the dual county over CC. So it was like that was kind of their ascension. Like Newton North's always been the top soccer program in Newton, and then I think South really took a leap last year. They lost in the round of 16, so it was kind of a upset ending. I think they expected to go a little further, but they returned like a lot of players from last year's team. I think their second and third leading scorers are back. Like their whole defense is back. So we talk about those like blue blood programs. Like Newton South, I think, wants to be that blue blood program, and why not? I mean, I think Newton is obviously maybe our biggest soccer hotbed in the state.
Seems like it,
in Massachusetts.
Right.
So like the town has enough talent to have two really good teams. Like there's no reason why Newton South shouldn't be, one of the state's best programs every year. So I think watching them, they should be really good again this year. So having them take that elevate, like doing it 2 years in a row, like being a top seed in a bracket and things like that, winning your conference, like those things matter in terms of your standing. So I think they're a team to keep an eye on in Division 1, and one that I'm excited to watch this season. Needham's another one. Like obviously Needham and Newton might be our two. We just said Newton's the biggest hotbed. Needham might be number 2.
Right.
A lot of great players come from Needham, and they were lost in 2 straight D1 finals in 22 and 23. Lost a lot of players, and kind of last year I think I'm looking at now, they're seeded 24. I think they won a tournament game, lost second round, but I think they're going to be good this year. And a younger team last year bring back a lot of players, so they're always good under Jimmy Odierna and a crazed soccer town. So I expect them to get back into that upper echelon of D1 this year.
Yeah, and the other thing we're keeping our eyes on, we've been kind of hammering this point home on this podcast and for a long time, is just the commits on the boys' side. It's still a small number that we're seeing for the class of 26. I mean, obviously it's still early in this recruiting cycle. They haven't even started their senior year of high school yet. But do you expect that to tick up this fall? With we know it's probably going to on the prep side of things and the NEPSAC and stuff. But do you expect a lot of these MIAA players to help their cause this fall, or in conversations? Do you feel like that's still more of a club thing, and that work is being done during the club season? I mean, how much of this MIAA action that they have will help their recruiting cause?
Yeah, I don't know. That's actually a good question. Yeah. I'm not sure how much. I don't know if colleges followed.
No, I know they don't go to they don't go to individual
games
for sure. Yeah,
but yeah, you always have breakout players. Like I think that's the cool part about high school is like there are players who I feel like we're pretty tapped into the scene that we don't even know of that much right now that are going to become household names this fall, that score a lot of goals, or a team that we didn't expect to make a run goes 16-2-1, has a kid who scores 30 goals who gets all New England that we're like not really on our radar, and then that puts him on our radar. So I think that's a cool thing about high school soccer is that every year, because of that roster turnover, you have new players that just kind of pop out not out of nowhere, but that really put their names on their radar, and then that helps with the college scene and obviously like the club scene too, of like, oh, maybe we should get this player from so-and-so town that had a really strong season. That so I think it's a great platform to elevate your game and your status, and I think that's the beauty of high school sports, and we expect to have that this year too.
For sure. And we've covered the boys' side now. Let's kind of switch over to the girls' side of things, where you've also been doing a lot of reporting for our website and covering the MIAA girls' side of things. Similar to what you did on the boys' side, you had kind of a list of teams to put on your radar. I think it was 6 teams on the MIAA girls' side to have on your radar. Give us a snapshot of maybe some storylines that you'll be looking for this MIAA girls season. is there any? I know Masconomet broke through with a great season last year. They look like they're going to be a strong team again this year. What are some storylines that you're following?
Yeah, the girls' side's loaded. I mean, I think we cover a lot of these players on the prep scene, and then it's kind of cool, like going through the rosters for this year. It's like, oh, like that Stars player and that Scorpions player, they're all on the same high school team. Like, and I think we were talking about this before the pod. There's like 90 D1 commits for girls in the class of 2026, and I would say probably 25, 30 of those play MIA girls. So there's a lot of talent.
And how many play for FC Stars? I would say too. Probably like
15.
A lot of them. Yeah. As a side note.
There you go, Graham. And So I think like it's a loaded field. Like there's a lot of talent in MIA girls, and I think that's really exciting. You have some teams like Medfield has 3-4 Division I commits. They're a D3 program, and they have high level players that we know from the club season. It's like, oh, they're all on Medfield, and they lost in the state championship last year, so they're a team that should be good. I mean, Masco has a ton of college bound players, right. Wellesley, Natick. Like there's a lot of talent and a lot of high Division I play, like Emmy O'Donnell at Concord Carlisle. Like she's
right. Going to Duke,
training
right?
with the U.S. national team, and she plays MIA. So like you're getting a lot of high end talent. So I think it's really wide. Like it's a competitive. There's a lot of good teams in MIA girls that can make a run.
It's kind of the model. I do like the model that's happened on the girls side of things. We
didn't even mention Bishop Fien.
Right, Fien's been a powerhouse, but I do like how these high level club players, these high level girls club players in New England, have still maintained their ability to play for their high schools, which allows them. I mean, we say Stars again because Stars is the dominant club in New England right now. You can be a standout with the Stars and get all that exposure that you'll get from going to these ECNL showcases and everything, but still play your high school soccer for Medfield, or still play your high school soccer for Grafton, still play for your small town, your kind of unassuming town, play your soccer there, and still play for the school in the front of the jersey, but also know you're going to get your exposure in the club season. I do find that to be a massive advantage that there is on the girls' side, because like you touched upon on the boys' side, where these MLS Next players are kind of foregoing their high school careers and just staying in that MLS Next platform, and that's their avenue, hoping that will get them to college soccer. And it's hurt the high school game, where on the girls' side, you're just not seeing that. In the girls' side, that the game still seems probably, if anything, it's probably better than it ever was, because, I mean, training's gotten better. Players are playing year-round, so the talent's gotten better than it was 10, 15 years ago. So the game on the girls' side is probably just continues to get even better in the MIA.
Yeah. I think, a lot of the boys' coaches wish they had the model that the girls have,
right,
where you could play for your high school and then still do an MLS Next, or as in the girls' case, an ECNL, like in the spring season, you can do both. I think that would really help MIA boys. But, in the girls, we don't see that. Like, we see a lot of talented girls who are headed to Power 5 Division I programs,
right,
play at their public high school. So that makes just for an exciting season. Like, I think there's a lot of good teams. We mentioned the coaching on the boys' side. The coaching on the girls' side is obviously really strong. I mean, you look at Dave Wainwright, who led Natick to a state title, leaves to go to rival Wellesley, and first year there they win the state title.
That's pretty crazy.
So they're going to be really good again. I mean, they have a lot back from they only lost a few seniors from last year's team, so we figure that they'll be a real factor in Division I. But Natick lost their coach, but still had a really good season last year, made the Final Four, went undefeated in the regular season. The Bay State Conference is just really strong on both sides, but you have Brookline, you have Weymouth, you have those teams are just Newton North, always good on both genders. And I feel like that's kind of our top conference in the state. The dual county is also really good too.
Yeah.
On both boys and girls. So those two leagues, I feel like, are going to have a lot of teams that emerge from it and will be real factors in the state tournament.
Yeah, it's funny because those leagues they're so good every year. I mean, traditional soccer powerhouses every single year, which means they must have really good feeder systems in their youth leagues down there, because every year, you look at, some Hingham, places like that, Duxbury, these towns that are great every year. Like it's probably a well-oiled machine, what they're doing at the young ages of getting these players to buy in and just kind of love the sport. Is there a team maybe that came up short last year that didn't win a state championship that you think, maybe was close, but might have the ability to get back to, deep into November and knock at the door again? Is there one or two teams that you see?
Medfield. I mean, Medfield's really good.
Yeah.
Like, I obviously have covered boys the last time, but covering girls, the club scene this year, and then you look at, like, I was kind of going through the seats, and I talked to their coach too, and it's like, oh my, you have all those players. Like, we wrote about them all year on the club scene. Like, Sydney Heavey, who plays for Scorpions, plays up an age group with, like, that really good attacking group that we saw multiple times this year. Like, she's on the team. Elizabeth George, who plays for FC Stars Blue, like, she's on the team. They have, I think her name's Emily Hoffman, coming back from a torn ACL. She's committed to High Points. You have two seniors. There's another Stars Blue player, a underclassman who had a great season during their run to the national finals. So, like, she's on the team as a sophomore. So, like, they have a really strong group, and they lost in the state championship last year to Nipmuc, 1-0 in the final. So, I feel like it could be a rematch. Nipmuc's going to be really good again too. So, like, that could be a rematch in D3. But that's a team that I feel like also being on that doorstep last year and returning a ton of talented players, like, they should be right there again. So, like, that's answering your question. That's the team.
Yeah.
There's also Sutton. So we talked about OA on the boys side. Right. Sutton's won 4 straight Division 4 titles.
It's insane. I mean, and that, like we said, like, Division 4, small town, but to have that kind of just perennial success every single year, where, like, okay, pencil them in, they're going to be there deep into November. It's remarkable how many programs are able to sustain that, and I'm sure, and there could be a team. Obviously, we're talking in August right now, so there'll certain to be some surprises along the way, as there always is. And you'll be covering the scene for us this fall. Pat Donnelly will be covering the scene for us this fall. You guys on the MIAA soccer beat, which will be great. Looking forward to having you, Matt, on that presence this year. Because when did you join? You joined here, October of last year?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you came in, I mean, a little bit halfway through the high school season. So, but you're well versed in that arena.
This is Haverford College men's soccer, where tradition meets ambition. As the oldest college soccer program in the country, Haverford Soccer has built a legacy of excellence that spans over 125 years. But we're not just proud of our history, we're building the future. At Haverford, we compete in one of the most rigorous academic environments in the nation, and we thrive. Our players are relentless competitors, disciplined students, and emerging leaders, all committed to one shared mission: pushing the game forward while pursuing excellence in every aspect of their lives. Our soccer identity: tough, fast, technical, team first. Our culture: confident, inclusive, purpose-driven. We play to win, we train to grow, and we develop men ready to lead, on the field, in the classroom, and far beyond. Join a team that values tradition, pursues greatness, and plays for something bigger than itself. This is Haverford men's soccer. Elite, academic, relentless.
We're going to turn our attention now to extra time, as we'll be keeping our pulse on that high school scene all season long. But I'm sure David Yaz has some goodies that he can hit us up with right now.
He better.
It's the end of regulation, so let's move to extra time.
Well, Doherty's throwing down the gauntlet there. Better be good. Extra time is always good.
It is always good.
Okay. Goes without saying.
No problem, man. All fair in the Goal podcast. So usually for extra time, I lob 3 questions the way of our 2 panelists here. Today, we're going to do a rapid fire version of it with 10 questions. So more questions. There's much shorter answers. Much shorter answers are desired here.
It's going to be hard for Doherty. He's long-winded.
I know.
I can't do that.
We'll see. Everybody grab a Snickers bar. We're not going anywhere for a while. All right, here we go.
I am hungry.
Number 1, we'll start with Matt Langone. Number 1, what's your earliest memory of playing or watching soccer?
Oh, playing as like a 4 or 5 year old in Beverly, Massachusetts, playing youth soccer. I still have fond memories of that. Orange slices at halftime, you know, jerseys down to your knees. It was the best. You know,
the little pup goals, the little
the little pop-up goals, oversized shin guards, you know, $3 cleats. It was the best. I still talk about that to my kids.
Very good. Matty D.
Yeah, same answer. I actually wrote about that in my intro column. My first experience with soccer. It was a Lime. I'm from Wakefield, so Wakefield Town League, Lime Green team. My dad was the coach. I wasn't good, obviously, but he probably yelled at me as a 5-year-old, like, why aren't you being more aggressive, shoot, those type of things. But yeah, the jersey down. I loved the orange slices, I would say, as a leader, and that was my first experience. It was co-ed too. Was yours co-ed?
Oh yeah, co-ed. Yeah.
Wow, progressive. Yeah, the first soccer league I played in as a young man, there were 3 teams in the league. Now, tell me how that works out, because that's the only amount of kids they could get in the town of Sharon. Yeah, a bye every week. It also it reminds me of the scene in the TV show The Office where Jim is trying to impress the boss, who's a big fan of soccer, by saying, "Oh, I'm not a fan of soccer. I'm more of a player." And then in a private moment to the camera, he said, "Oh yeah, I'm a player. I remember I was on the green team in 4th grade. That was his soccer experience." Number two, Matty D. At what moment were you most invested in rooting for a soccer team to win, and were either thrilled or had your heart broken? What I could ask you.
Honestly, not.
Yeah, never.
Never.
You never rooted for a soccer team to win a game.
I feel like growing up, I didn't really have a soccer team, so I wasn't really
college, World Cup. You
I root for
hitched your wagon to it.
I'm not U.S. Like, I'll root for other teams too. I'll pick a team usually before the World Cup, and then that will kind of be my team for that World Cup. But I don't know. I don't really have those heartbreaking.
Yeah, you're a sports fan. Are you a Patriots, Red Sox fan, Celtics?
Yeah, but I'm not going to be like heartbroken if they win. Like, I think the only time I was ever heartbroken from a sporting event was I went to the Patriots Eagles Super Bowl when they lost. And as a Patriots fan, that was tough.
But there's no equivalent to that to soccer for you.
No, because has to be a rare occurrence. Like, I have to be really tied to something for it to really affect me.
Yep.
And I guess honestly, most teams I haven't really felt that.
Yeah.
Maybe like when I went to St. John's Prep, I think we lost in the state tournament senior year. So that was I'll put that. I'll put that.
Okay, we'll accept that answer. By the way, the Philly special was an illegal play. There should have been a flag thrown on it, so that win doesn't count.
Thanks.
Matty L, yours.
I agree with Doherty though. A lot of people will be like, "Oh, you like soccer? Who's your Premier League team?" I'm like, I don't get up on a Sunday morning and like have to watch a Premier. There's not like a certain Premier League team I have to watch. I hinge on every. I'm at the edge of my seat, but. I would say probably the '94 World Cup, Italy, just because my dad was a fan of Italy, and this was. I mean, are
you of Italian heritage?
I am of Italian heritage on my dad's side.
Is that the one that was here in the U.S.?
Yep, in the U.S. So
I wasn't alive. So.
Wow, I was 12. I was 12 in '94. I was 12 watching that, and it was probably the first. In Italy had the run, and of course Baggio had the PK that I've talked about it on this. Baggio.
How far did they make it?
Championship match. Lost in the championship to Brazil. Baggio in PKs. Baggio sent one about 10 feet over the crossbar. Terrible shot. But that was probably the first time I really was like really cheering on a soccer team. But I'm kind of like Doherty. I don't have, aside from the Dirk Nowitzki, Steve Nash, Dallas Mavericks, which I was a diehard fan of. I probably mentioned on this podcast. I had never had a team where I'm a diehard fan of.
Wow, you guys never.
Tough. In the end, you can't really. The fandom goes away.
You get a little jaded. Yeah.
These guys are professional writers.
That's right. We're objective. We're objective.
Okay. All right, Matty L. What's the best soccer match you've ever seen live or on TV?
Honestly, I've said it before and I'll say it again. The Vermont National Championship game last year to beat Marshall, the come from behind national championship. Just an awesome. Because we cover Vermont, like it was New England. Watching it on TV, just Max Kissel with the game-winning goal. It was just awesome. I mean, just a great atmosphere. Vermont had kind of a Cinderella run to the national championship last year, the first in program history. It's on national TV. It was just a thrilling game. I'll actually go with that. It might be a little prisoner of the moment because it was recent, but I'd say that.
That's a good one.
I'm prisoner of the moment, too. I had that month, November, December, I had the Newton North run, which was probably the best high school soccer I've watched covering it for 8 years. Like, those two matches were just insane.
Yeah.
And then a month later, the Vermont.
Yeah.
So, like, that was a great time for me. Like, those two games really stuck out to me. If we're going this year, like, those were my two favorite.
All right.
And they're going to rank up there. Like, I'll always remember those two games, and they came in a time. And I was also at MLS Next.
Right.
Flex Fest in between too. So it was like a crazy soccer month for me.
Honorable mention, Mbappe and Messi going head-to-head in the World Cup was tremendous too. Both scoring. I mean, that was a great
when
game.
was that?
Last World Cup.
The last World Cup.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that was a great match as well. But
Matty D, what's the sport that comes closest to the atmosphere of a soccer game?
Playoff baseball
Is that right? Interesting.
would be my guess. Just the crowd, like kind of everyone's wearing the same color. Outdoors, I think like plays don't happen as often too. So it's like that sustained cheer that happens when I hit a home run or a goal. Like I think those two sort of compare. So like playoff soccer and playoff baseball, I think those are my two favorite atmospheres as well.
There's nothing like that extremely brief moment of silence before something exciting happens.
That's
like
a good way to put it.
Used to happen with those old Celtics teams. Like Larry Bird would steal the ball, people would cheer, but then there'd be this moment of anticipation before he like whipped a pass like behind his back to Parrish or something. Matty L, yours.
I'd go with maybe a big time college football game, just in terms of the pageantry and the constant energy and the crowd's constantly into it, and you got the band playing and the music playing. It's different, but it's similar because it's like soccer fans are so possessive of their team, and college football fans are so possessive of their team. I mean, there's just so much tradition and pageantry with it.
Good answer. We stick with you, Matt Langone. In a word or two, how has the business side of soccer? How has the business side of soccer changed in the last 10 years or so?
Whew, that's a good one. Man, I would just say just a general expansion that's going on, and just I mean, we have an NWSL team coming to Boston. You got MLS teams popping up all over, Canada and the U.S.
Too, Matt.
Sorry,
Expansion.
should I zip it? Expansion.
Okay,
Just kidding.
good.
Keep going.
No, I was going to keep going too long on that.
No, sorry, Matty D.
That's not a word.
Those don't count.
Like variety. Like I just think.
Okay.
I don't know. I haven't been in the business for 10 years, but I think even the last couple of years, I think there's just that's more than 2 words. Expansion.
Okay.
Is that what you said?
That's what he said. Great.
Blah 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 blah. Expansion.
All good.
It's
All
just
good.
so much. It's just a vast world.
2 words. So much. That's
Vast
good.
world.
That's good.
That's so bad.
Doherty, what's the most misunderstood rule in soccer?
I don't know.
If there is one.
The most misunderstood
Rule.
Oh, it's easy.
What is it?
Offsides. Everybody.
Oh, like what? Wait, what do you mean by that? Like what
misunderstood by most people who people who follow the game, or usually misunderstood rules are those.
Yeah, because I thought you meant like. Never mind. I wasn't really.
You'll be sitting with like
question.
sit with any random 10 people at a soccer game at any level. And
offsides.
Half the people are yelling offsides. People are like, how is that not? Like, it's just it needs like constant explanation to everybody.
I was thinking something else.
Yeah.
All right, no problem. There's still a couple questions for you to make a comeback here.
Okay.
Matt Langone, what's
Make a comeback.
What's the most underrated skill in soccer?
Most underrated skill, I will say,
Maintaining possession as a dribbler. Like I think that's the hardest thing. When we talked about my playing days, like I could never do this. Someone would take the ball from me. I think someone who can have the foot skills and kind of the athleticism to like weave through defenders, make guys miss, like excel in traffic. Like I think that's the hardest thing about soccer. Or like a fast person can do something on a breakaway, but to maneuver defenders and to sort of maintain your possession with the pace of the game like that. When I see players do that, like I'm like that's the best player on the field, like someone who does that.
Matty, agree or disagree?
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I mean, obviously, it's like just your general touch is, it's hard to overstate how important that is. And like just having just an incredible first touch, I think is it's probably not underrated because everybody knows that, but it's such a separator from one player to another.
All right. Matty L., what's the worst call you've ever witnessed in a soccer game by an official?
Worst call, man. Wow,
You
David,
called-
David, you brought it today with these questions, man.
I didn't know
I thought
we were
something. I
actually
thought
doing
something
temps.
might
sweating over here.
I thought something might come to mind.
I don't. You know what? It's funny. I've recently told you guys this. I recently became a basketball referee. I have it's put a new light on officials to me, and it's so damn hard.
It's harder. It's so much harder than you think.
So much harder than anyone
That
thinks.
happened to me. That happened to me too.
Yeah.
Just a youth basketball game I refereed. Having been a coach and complained to referees zillions of times.
Right.
Then someone drives the lane and there's some contact and he puts up a shot and you're like, wait a minute, am I supposed to call?
You
a
do.
foul?
You start like replay. The moment the world like stops and like, wait, is that a travel? Is that a foul? Do I call the foul? Like, and you like have to do it in a split second, and it's super hard. And it's honestly made me reevaluate everything I thought I used to know about officials in any sport. So it's really damn hard. So
There's never been a bad call in soccer.
never. These guys are perfect.
How would you handle the question, Matty D?
There's nothing that comes to mind like, oh, I remember that call being bad.
Was the Maradona's hand of God?
Hand of God, the no call.
That was well. That would count, I guess.
Yeah.
Like generally speaking, an offsides that wipes away a goal.
There's
would
been
probably be
most
the
frustrating.
worst. No, like in a critical moment. Like I think that would be the worst type of call if I had to make one up of like tie game in the 90th minute, someone scores and they call offsides on a close play. Like that would be the worst type of call.
Yeah,
that comes to mind. But there's nothing I've seen like with the naked eye that I remember of like, oh my god, that's a horrible call.
Okay, score one for the officials today. The referees,
Officials are
well done.
great.
Give
Well
them
done,
some
everybody.
respect.
They do such a great job. So it's
Okay, two questions to go, Doherty. From a fan's point of view, do soccer games ever go too long, or are they about the right amount of time?
depends.
So they can go too long sometimes.
Yeah, I think there are certain games sometimes where it's like, okay, this is dragging a little bit. But
Nothing fundamentally wrong though about the length of a soccer game. You don't think?
no,
Yep.
I think maybe 80 minutes. Well, that's what they kind of do in club, like
They go-
80 minutes. I think
they go
80 is a good time.
I actually think it's probably the most tidy product of any sport. I mean, it's the only where they get themselves into trouble is I think with added
right.
time. Like I think what frustrates a lot of like, not
Casual
crazy.
fans.
Yeah, like casual fans. Like why they just add 6 minutes? Because nobody knows that added time but the ref, so it's kind of arbitrary. So I think that's the thing that frustrates maybe viewers a little bit is what now they're going to add 7 minutes. They're going to add 4 minutes. Why are they
I like
only
the
adding
extra time.
Yeah, I don't mind. I actually think the product is great, especially on TV with no commercials, running time. I think they nail it pretty well, and it's pretty much a 2-hour product, and that's what
like
makes
other
it
sports, when it's gonna.
like
You
baseball.
don't know when it's
Yeah.
gonna end.
I
right?
mean,
It
I
could
love
be-
baseball, but geez, I mean,
It
some
could
of
be
those
2 hours
yeah.
or 3 hours. Like you have no idea. A soccer game's gonna end
Right.
when you think it's gonna.
They
end.
finally took action in baseball
With
when
the
the
clock.
games were those Red Sox Yankee games were like you got to take time off from work to watch the whole game.
Remember the Red Sox Dodgers World Series game that was like 7.5 hours long or something? And
Yeah, but
ended-
that also went like 18.
Yeah, I know, but but at a certain point, it's like, man,
Yeah.
all right, we're in the 18th.
Back it
This is
up,
absurd.
let's go.
Yeah.
All right, final question, and Matt Langone, you can start with this one. Will soccer ever overtake one of the major 4 U.S. sports in terms of popularity?
I think so. So obviously we're talking football, basketball, baseball, hockey.
Right.
I do think so. I to me, football and basketball are the two that are going to be fine
Right.
going forward. Football, obviously, in this country. Basketball number 2.
Basketball is going to decline, in my opinion.
It could, but not. It's still super. I mean, kids right now all want to be basketball players. I mean, and just in my like in my son's going in 8th grade. Every kid wants to play basketball. Every kid's trying to play and it's basketball is in every state. It's not geographical. Like hockey is still geographical. Like they're not playing a lot of hockey still in Phoenix or Texas
True.
or
I think-
Louisiana or but they are going to play soccer in every one of these states. If you go to these showcase events, there's top-notch clubs from every state, the southern states, the western states, the New England states. I do think it's going to get there. I think the MLS still has to, in order for it to happen, the MLS still has to bring in more top-notch talent in its prime. Like, you can't rely on getting a Messi in his late 30s. You've got to bring in some global superstars when they're 30, 28, something like that. But I do think it's going to happen. I don't know when, but I think right now the World Cup coming next summer is going to be a big barometer of that. We'll see what happens in the aftermath of that, but I think it's going to be it's coming for soccer. I
think the World Cup's really going to help. I think youth soccer is on the rise. I mean, I feel like more people 18 and under are playing soccer than ever before. I think
it's also an easier entry than soccer, where you have to buy like $500 worth of equipment.
Right. Yeah. And I also think why is outside of the U.S. it's the most popular sport in the world
everywhere. Right.
So why isn't it how is that's going to eventually infiltrate into our country?
It's because we haven't. I think it's because we haven't prioritized it. We
also have the 4 other leagues,
and a lot of the MLS
don't.
A lot of the MLS owners also are like NFL owners, and they're like, or they were in the early stages. So they prioritize their NFL product more than their soccer product. And now you're getting some of these soccer specific places like Vancouver and it's blowing up. This
is a story for another day, but MLS okay, you want to watch Messi, you have to have Apple TV Plus.
True.
Not only a $10 subscription, but then an add-on.
They hurt themselves with that TV deal.
If that was on ABC, on a 12:30 Sunday afternoon, you're gonna get eyeballs on that.
They didn't calculate that TV deal. Yeah,
they need to view it better for the American audience, if they want to grow it. But I think it could pass hockey. I think hockey's a very
that's the one that I think it could pass. And you in a different time might have said baseball, but I think baseball is still America. It's not America's pastime anymore, but we still like baseball. But yeah, I think it's coming just because it's a fast-paced sport and you don't need ice time and you don't need a ton of equipment. It's just it's there to grow, and I think it's just going to continue to grow.
Yeah. Hockey's big here in New England, but outside of I mean, you're right. And you go to Florida, soccer is bigger, right?
Right, for sure.
In Florida than
Florida at least has a pro hockey team. I just found
They have 2 pro hockey teams.
I just found a list of 8 states where there's basically no hockey at all. Alabama.
Can I guess them?
Go ahead. Well,
yeah, this would be a good exercise.
Alabama.
I said that, but go ahead.
Well, we're just saying that.
I definitely know one. Alabama.
Hold on. Arkansas.
Correct.
New Mexico.
Correct. Very good.
Kansas.
Kansas is not on the list for some reason. Maybe there's something there in Kansas. I don't know.
Does this mean no youth hockey? No nothing?
No NHL team, no significant AHL or ECHL presence, no major college programs, and low youth participation.
Yeah, because I think isn't there only 60 Division I programs in the country for hockey?
Hawaii.
Oh, I don't know why Hawaii's not on this. Oh, it's in the second tier of no hockey. The other is Mississippi,
South Carolina.
That's on there. Very good. Georgia and Louisiana.
Yeah,
Oklahoma.
I mean, so think of that. That's 8 states where.
Wait, so Kansas wasn't on the list?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why Kansas.
They must have an ECHL.
I mean, I'm
8
talking
states. ChatGPT here. I don't know. She might be wrong.
Never.
Yeah. Well, somehow you guys survived the lightning round of extra time. Well done. Good answers. Good parentheses. Good non-answers, and answering a different question when you didn't like the question I posed. That's what a good podcaster does.
Those are great questions.
You both did well, and back to you guys to wrap things up.
Yeah, I'm not sure we did that as intended. We kind of dodged some things, and
he stumps us.
That's why David is the best in the business.
Guest, you can kind
of. Who loves you, kid?
Great stuff as always, David and Matt Doherty. Thanks for joining as usual. Great stuff on the MIAA season, which we'll be obviously talking about a lot in the coming months, I would think.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Great to be here.
I'm Matt Langone. Thanks for listening. New England Soccer Journal's The Goal podcast is produced by David Yaz and is a Siemens Media production.
You've been listening to New England Soccer Journal's The Goal podcast. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen to our podcast. Or visit anysoccerjournal.com/podcast. Siemens Media. Inspiring, informative, insightful.